I like saying that, so you're just going to have to bear with me there. But, and we're talking about domestic abuse, and so tell me a little bit about what are some of the signs that somebody can pick up on that someone's in an abusive relationship?
Well, I know, for one, is you will be isolated. Tend to take you away from your family, your friends. Another is when they'll put it like they're playing and grabbing and pushing and shoving. They're really just testing you to see how far they can go. And temper. We have to watch the temper. And when they seem to be quick-tempered and yelling more,
right.
And you just have to be careful because those are abusive. Those are signs of
leading to an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Now, from someone from the outside, what can they catch? What can they? Of course, if one of their loved ones is drawing back and not giving a really good reason for it, that could be one sign. What are some other signs that a loved one can tell this person might be in an abusive relationship?
Sheltering. A lot of different things. Some things you would probably have to really put your hands on, but just not wanting to be with the family, just a different type of thing.
And of course, we all know to look for those physical signs. But sometimes it's difficult to look for emotional signs when the physical signs are covered.
Right.
Sometimes the ones who's being abused, they tend to have start getting a little tempered themselves, be a little short-tempered because of what they're going through over here on this side. So that's one of them as well.
Have you seen it go down in the family where it goes from father to mother, then mother to child, possibly?
Yes, especially if that child has watched their parents in that abusive relationship, and when they get older, they do tend to abuse their spouse or their mate. Yes, I have seen it personally.
And you were talking about breaking that cycle. And how does someone who has grown up in a situation like that, how do they break that cycle?
Well, again, it's finding out who you are, loving yourself, loving other people, allowing other people to love you, really finding the spiritual foundation you need. These are all the things. I mean, being a former police officer, I've seen it on all spectrums, where the victim feels like it's their fault. And to break that cycle, you got to, like I said, overcome the fear, really be more in tune to who you are, and not like what you're going through, and really be willing to sacrifice what you need to make it out of it.
Right.
So many people have, even to the point we don't like to talk about death, but when you have husbands who have hurt wives and wives who have hurt husbands, and the family unit, it comes to that point sometimes, and we shouldn't want to see that happen. And I know with her, with this foundation, that's what we're trying to make sure we're doing our part in the community, here in Georgia and in Florida.
Right. And so if a loved one sees, if a family member sees a loved one in an abusive relationship, is there anything that they can do? Well, what can they do?
Well, first, for me, like I said, being a police, and I've had the situation before to where, do I deal with it pastorally? Do I deal with it as a law enforcement officer? The main thing is we have to deal with it.
Right.
And at that time, some victims may not expose the aggressor because it may break down the family unit, but you have to expose it if the healing has to take place. And my first suggestion would be, first of all, let someone know what you're going through, to notify the authorities. If it gets to that point, that has to happen.
Right. Now, what would you say, aside from these particular steps, what would you say from the depth of your heart to someone who is currently in that abusive situation?
Leave immediately. You can't change that person. You do, like Sasha was saying, you do have to have it exposed. You have to get away immediately. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, well, if I say, it might make things a little better. If I do this a little different, maybe it won't make he or she, so angry, and things will get better. It doesn't get better. It gets worse. And, again, like Sasha was saying, it could lead to death. You have to tell. You have to tell.
And some people are so afraid, of the situation and the abuser, but there's also a flip side to that fear, too. and that's the fear of the unknown and the fear of leaving.
Right.
So what would you say to someone who is wanting to get out but just stuck because they are afraid of what they don't know? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? How am I going to take care of my children? Am I going to lose my children? Is anybody going to believe me?
There are so many avenues to help with that. I mean, even if the person has to leave, you got the different shelters that they can go to. There's financial assistance for all of that. The main thing is get out of that situation. And I would tell anybody that's going through that thing, press your way through it and deal with the unknown at a later date, because we're here to help take care of them. I'm pastoring 2 churches, so I'm sure that we have to pull together in the community to make sure that we're helping people who need help. And it's just not the normal situation. Sometimes, I mean, this happens in churches. I hate to be the pastor pointing out, but it happens in churches, and we got to start, I guess, putting a blindfold on and really attack the issues. And my thing is to exit, get out of that situation. Don't worry about the unknown. We're here to help. There are other organizations to help, and that's what we need. We need that person, if they're going through that, to just make sure that they find a way out of it right now.
Well, and what would you say on a spiritual level? Because there's so many people that regardless of abuse or whatever's going on in a situation, they may think, well, I'm committed to this person and in the bonds of marriage, and divorce is not an option. What do I do? Can you speak to it spiritually about how people can get past that?
I think when we look at things spiritually, we want to make sure that we have our lives together. I think in a situation as such, first you owe God everything.
Right.
And if there's a person that you're with that doesn't appreciate you, then that says enough within itself. Now, can I just be real tonight?
Sure.
God gave us 5 senses.
That's right.
Neither one of them stupid. So we got to make sure that we're following the plan, His purpose, and His understanding of what He's given us.
Right.
And if He gave a man a woman to love and a woman a man to love, then He didn't give us each other to put our hands on each other and hurt each other in that way.
Now, tell me, as we wrap up, tell me what your foundation offers and how people can get in touch with you.
Well, right now we're in the process of, we offer, we're trying to get shelter together, where it's time to extend our hands where we can have vouchers. Sometimes they need an overnight stay just to get out of the situation just for a little bit, or we can stay. We're offering, there's the Friday shelter is going to be like a non-perishable items, clothing, hygiene items. Yeah.
2 facets. I mean, we need the spiritual counseling, and as a pastor, I'm there to aid anybody going through that situation, but there's another level to it. We need the professional counseling to better deal with all that.
Now, you have a website. What's the website?
www.preciousheartsfoundation.org.
preciousheartsfoundation.org. Well, we'll encourage people to go there, and if you are in a situation where you are being abused, or if you are in a situation where you feel like you don't have any hope, give us a call. Let us pray with you. Let us help you. Let us guide you. 770-300-9828. And right now we're going to go to the phones and see what God has laid on people's hearts this evening.